This video provides an example of how a group-based project examination can be conducted at the Faculty of Engineering and Science at Aalborg University. Before the examination, the student group will be able to set up their equipment and arrange any artifacts they may require for the presentation of their project in the examination room. The group supervisors, now being the examiners, arrive together with the external censor. After the welcome and once technical equipment is connected, the examination can start.
Are you ready?
The examiner welcomes all and explains the format for the examination.
But before we start, maybe I should introduce...
The examiner introduces the external censor and draws attention to the fact that the external censor is also allowed to ask questions during the examination. Next, the examiner invites the students to begin with their presentation by providing an overview, putting things into perspective and possibly elaborating on the project and the project work. Each student starts by introducing themselves, followed by presenting what part of the project they will present. Before the examination commences, the supervisor reminds the students how much time the group has for the presentation process. The individual presentations form part of the overall assessment when deciding students' grades.
That was what I want to present on the different cases. Now Aida will go further.
When a student has finished their presentation, the next student takes over. All students should include significant aspects of their work in their presentation.
So, for what we argue so far,
After the presentations, the examiners and the external censor provide feedback on the presentations, also to ask students brief, clarifying questions.
The latest press...
The examiners and the external censor ask questions specific to the project presentation. That allows also for a joint discussion about problem analysis, theory, method and results.
What are the benefits of...
To answer a question, the students may raise their hand.
I think that
The examiner controls the discussion and makes sure that all students get an opportunity to be heard.
Yes,
During the open discussion, individual questions may be addressed to specific students to follow up on an issue to be clarified. By keeping notes, the examiners and the external censor record individual students' contributions during the examination process. When the discussion has finished, the next step is typically a short break. The session starts by informing the students about the format and time frame of the individual Q&A session. Some examiners may choose to ask prepared questions. This is the case in this example.
Question number 3.
Examiners may also choose to include questions that may need further explanation based on what the students have said during the discussion. Finishing the Q&A session signals the end of the examination and the students are asked to leave the room. The examiners and the external censor vote and negotiate which grade is to be given to each individual student. Based on the report, the individual presentation, the discussion and the Q&A session, an overall grade is given to the individual student.
The questions you got, as you pulled, was a very difficult one.
When all grades are decided, the examiner asks the students to enter the room again. The grade and feedback for each student is done individually or as a group. It is recommended that students and examiners agree how this is to be done, either before the examination or before the grades are being decided. Besides the grades, all students need to receive constructive feedback about the strengths and weaknesses of the project and their presentations. After giving students their grades and feedback, the examiner declares the examination to be finished. The examiners and the external censor leave the room. Now it is time for students to clean up and then to elaborate on the feedback and the new insights gained during the examination process.
and a lot of things we can take further from here.
The Faculty of Engineering and Science wishes all students a good examination.